Hello, Vittorio. The old man here. But to me, the little boy is there. I cried because the Qur'an clearly explains the Big Bang Theory. If there's one thing I've proved, it's that the Qur'an does not clearly explain the Big Bang Theory. To explain the Big Bang Theory, you don't need a few lines of poetry. It's just not that simple. You need a number of books. You need a number of different viewpoints. You need to hear from Nobel Prize winners and experts in the field. You need to know the history of the subject. You seem to really be, if you think that three lines in a bit of poetry can explain the Big Bang, you're very, very much mistaken. It's laughable, dude. I don't think you know the definitions of the word clear and explanation, judging from that remark. You have no scientific book before 1922? I win then. The Christians burned all of the Islamic books. The Count won't be happy that you said that, because he said that if anyone could show that Christians were the enemies of Islam, then it contradicted the Qur'an and he would have to give up Islam. So you've now turned the Count into a liar again, because he's not going to give up Islam. I'm sure he's going to really like you for that. And on the subject of Muslims liking Muslims, just please be aware to all those Muslims watching this who praise these two clowns, when you do it, when they behave like this and you praise them, when they tell lies and you praise them, you are giving out the worst possible impression of Islam. You are not able to criticize those who are part of your faith but who behave deplorably. Every time you praise them, it's another nail in the coffin of the impression that we get of Islam. You praise the Fott Foundation. I think you said he destroyed me for showing that the word expansion couldn't have been in the Qur'an. And then in your latest video you say that the word expansion has been in the Qur'an for 1400 years. You say that Al-Haytham is the most quoted physicist of the Middle Ages. How could he be if we burnt all the books? Did he say the universe was expanding? No. And before I get to the trap into which you so willingly walked, I want to say something about psychology and a man's reaction when he encounters proof of God. Any scientist you would care to mention, from Albert Einstein downward, if they really, truly believed that it was impossible for Muhammad to have known about some of these things, what do you honestly think they're going to do the very next day? They're going to walk down to the mosque and they're going to get onto their knees and they're going to convert to Islam. So every scientist you mention, every single name you can possibly bring up, every scientist on every Islamic website, if they did not convert to Islam, you are taking their quotes out of context. Simple as that. Every time you mention a scientist who in some sense is quoted as backing the Qur'an, if he did not convert to Islam, then the point you raise is meaningless. Do you understand? Meaningless, without meaning, devoid of meaning. So just to reiterate the point, to any Muslims out there who quote any scientists, if the scientist did not convert to Islam, your point is exactly zero. I think I covered that point. People must understand that. Also, Vittorio, I am not going to allow any more videos from you. You are peddling lies and lying deliberately yourself. You don't have the brain to debate anything. You don't. It's not an insult. You literally don't. Sometimes I've thought about typing replies to some of your comments, saying what's the point in replying to you, but then I ask myself, well, what's the point in telling someone who's not worth replying to that it's not worth replying to them? So forget it. Peddle your trash elsewhere. Now to the trap. Anyone who's been watching these video exchanges between myself and Vittorio will have noticed that he keeps mentioning Alfred Kroner. Alfred Kroner. Alfred Kroner. Alfred Kroner. Alfred Kroner. He misspells the name consistently, as he does in the last video, which is why I had difficulty finding the gentleman concerned. When I did find him, I found that he was a real scientist. But I don't know if he's alive. He's German, so I can't speak to him. But this is where my friend, my deep, close, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this, my brother, Jeremias 1111. Thank you, Jeremias. Oh, thank God for Jeremias. Thank you, Jeremias. Jeremias speaks German. And it turns out that Kroner is alive. And what's more, he has email. I'm now going to read the email that Alfred Kroner sent to Jeremias 1111 when asked about the quotation which Vittorio keeps bringing up. Here is the email. Dear XXX. Obviously it's a stock letter because he's sick and tired of answering this question. Word for word, here it comes. My last words for you, Vittorio, from the Blue Book of Death. Dear XXX. I have answered literally hundreds of emails over the years concerning this issue. In 1979 I attended a geological conference in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and there was a TV interview with 5 Western geologists, organised by the then Minister of Religious Affairs, who had a PhD in geology. The issue was whether the Qur'an was compatible with modern views of the evolution of the Earth. As you can imagine, there are always aspects in religious writing that are compatible with nature, and the Qur'an is no exception. The citations that you now find on these religious sites are taken out of context. I cannot even remember the details of the interview. In any case, whatever you find on these sites, I surely never said as it is quoted now. There is little I can do about this. I asked several friends in the Islamic world for advice, and they all said just to leave it and live with it. Best wishes, Alfred.